We have a very concerning update about Julius Randle and that shoulder injury. For weeks now, we've been waiting for Julius Randle to return for the New York Knicks. However, according to Tom Thibodeau, he hasn't been cleared yet for full contact. That update came about a week ago. Ever since then, we've been waiting for another update about Randle and where he currently is in recovery. And unfortunately for Randle and the Knicks, an NBA insider gave us an update about where he is in recovery. And according to this insider, he hasn't moved from where he was last week. We're going to break down this update and see what it means for Julius Randle and potentially when he can return for the New York Knicks. We're going to break down this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. This is a concerning Julius Randle injury update. When I heard from Steve Popper, an NBA insider, that Julius Randle had not progressed further than he did last week, I was shocked. I was floored. Julius Randle, going through that same routine that he was going through, had not progressed further than he was last week. That, for me, is an alarming update because, for me, it tells me that Julius Randle's shoulder injury is much more severe than we know about. Let's break down this latest update from Steve Popper and see exactly what he stated about Julius Randle and that injury. A fan on the app X asked the following to Steve Popper and a couple of other NBA insiders. He asked them, "Haven't heard in a minute. Is Randle any closer?" And according to Steve Popper, he answered with the following response: "He is not." Asked Thibodeau before the game if Randle advanced to any real contact, and he said no. As most of us are aware already, Julius Randle, his next stage, his next step in recovery is taking contact. Not full contact with 5-on-5, but taking full contact with another person. Maybe go 1-on-1, then 2-on-2, then 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 5-on-5 without any limitations, then having the doctor and the medical staff look at you after practice the next day, see if you have any issues, any obstacles, any pain, and then from there, you get managed even more, and then you get cleared, and then you can return to the court. That's what Julius Randle still has to go through. He has not gone through contact yet, not full contact anyways. Tom Thibodeau has described it as controlled contact, which basically means you know the move is going to come before it comes. That means you prepare that shoulder for the contact. It's not the same as a regular game. During a regular game, you don't know how that shoulder is going to get hit. You don't know what contact is going to be coming. And that's the type of practice he still has to go through. He hasn't gone through that practice yet. And then he hasn't gone through all of the other practices he still has to go through, all the contact drills he still has to go through in order to be cleared by the medical staff and return for the New York Knicks. He hasn't moved to that stage yet. This is concerning. He is still weeks away from being healthy to return for the New York Knicks. The Knicks only have a couple of weeks left of the regular season. The reason this is concerning is because the Knicks might go into the postseason with the Knicks team that hasn't been able to work out Julius Randle with a fully healthy roster. That's going to be concerning because they're going to have to do it on the fly. And doing that on the fly with Randall, Jalen Brunson, and all of these new players that they have is very concerning. That means they're not going to gel properly. There are going to be a lot of issues, a lot of mistakes, and they're going to have to hide and clean up for Randall a lot because he's going to have to understand the schemes that they're running, the game plan that they're running, the offensive schemes, the defensive schemes, how they're using OG Anunoby, Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, and Randall when they're all out there. There are so many things to learn and understand that they're going to need more than a few games in order to understand it and get it right. And if they're trying to do that on the fly, in the playoffs, in the postseason, it could mean a disaster for the New York Knicks and their hopes and dreams this season. Because everybody knows, Tom Thibodeau knows, Leon Rose knows, this roster, when healthy and given enough games to gain chemistry, they can be a deep, dangerous playoff team. But they need the games in order to do that. They need that repetition. They need that practice time. They need that real game experience. And unless they have that, it's going to be a very difficult task for Jalen Brunson, this New York Knicks team, and Tom Thibodeau to try to get a deep playoff run going. They need the chemistry. Don't get it wrong. Star power is very important. But in my opinion, chemistry beats everything. Chemistry with your team and your players is what you need more than anything else to have a deep and serious and legit playoff run. You can't substitute that. You can't buy that. You can't go out and get that. The only way you can get that done is by putting in the work and putting in the time. And time is the biggest thing going against Julius Randle and the Knicks. And according to Kristen Winfield of the New York Daily News, he's also an NBA insider. And he noted that Julius Randle taking this long to recover from this injury is not surprising. And this is why he said that. The very nature of Randle's game is the reason his return may take longer than expected, because the lefty's preferred weapon of choice on the basketball court is the same shoulder he compromised in the late January victory over the Miami Heat. Randle's effective brand of bully ball is made possible thanks to the very shoulder he separated, crashing into the ground on a drive to the rim. That's a very good point. If you've been watching Randle, his game, not only over the last few seasons, but this season specifically, you've seen him do the exact same thing when driving into the paint. He drops that shoulder, then he uses it to put contact between him and the defender. That creates space and allows him to utilize that space to get a shot off. Oftentimes, that shot goes in. If he's going to do the same thing with that shoulder injury, every time he does that, he might do more harm to himself. He might do more damage to himself. It might cause him pain. It might cause him to hesitate. He might not be able to utilize that same weapon that he's been using all season long the exact same way. That's going to alter his game, alter his shot, and alter his moves on the court when he's out there for the New York Knicks. We all know that. Julius Randle's style of bully ball is going down low, driving into you with his body, his shoulder, taking contact and finishing at the rim, taking contact, going for a fadeaway and finishing that shot, or taking contact, getting the and one and going to the line. Either way, Randle's bully ball style of play is wholly dependent on that shoulder, using it to create space, take contact, and make the bucket. If he can't use that shoulder, he's going to have to find other ways to be aggressive and effective down low. And my concern is when Randle comes back, if he can't use that shoulder effectively, he might have to compromise his game by taking more jump shots, taking more three-point shots. And if you've watched Randle, you know that's not his game. Not the game you want him to play at a high level. Because if Randle is playing that game for the New York Knicks, the Knicks are going to likely lose more games than they're going to win. If Randle is playing his traditional bully ball style of play that we've been seeing and we've grown accustomed to this season, then the Knicks are going to have a very good chance to be a deep playoff team this postseason. But if Randle can't play like that and he's hesitating, he's changing his game, he's altering his game, he's going to affect the Knicks in a negative way. And in my opinion, it's not going to be a way that's going to be conducive to winning basketball games. And I think that's what Julius Randle, the medical staff, and the coaching staff is all thinking about right now. That's why he hasn't been cleared yet for full contact, because everybody knows if he's hesitating right now, if he has pain right now, if there are concerns right now, once he starts taking full contact, those concerns are only going to grow. He has to go through this step by step. The concerning part for me is he's still on the same step, basically, that he was on last week. He has not progressed further. I want to remind you guys, the next step for Julius Randle in this recovery is taking contact, full contact, maybe with one other person, but it's still full contact, not controlled. Until he moves to that step, he's going to continue to be a few weeks away for this Knicks team. And a few weeks away for this Knicks team puts the Knicks in postseason contention, puts them in the playoffs, puts them in the first round. That's what we have to think about right now. I hope and pray that Randle can come back sooner rather than later, because I'll say it again, chemistry is undefeated in this league. You need it in order to win. Randle coming back with 5-7 games left would be a huge benefit for the New York Knicks. But if he comes back and returns in the postseason, the Knicks are going to have to operate on the fly, and doing that against teams that have been playing the same way each and every game for the entire season, and doing this against teams that have not only been putting out the same roster each and every game for the regular season, is going to give an edge, an advantage to all of these teams the Knicks are going up against because they're not going to have that same type of chemistry with the players they have on the roster. They have new guys, they have those same guys, and then they have to incorporate all of these returning guys from injuries. It's not the same. And doing that in the postseason is going to be very difficult for the Knicks. I hope and pray they have a few regular season games underneath their belt so they can gain that chemistry together. But if they don't, I'm going to be hoping and praying that they find some type of luck, some type of magical gem inside their ranks so that way they can use it to advance to the next round. Because chemistry and not having it in that first round, no matter who you're facing, is going to be a problem. I just hope it's a problem. If the Knicks go through it, they can overcome it. But what about you guys? What do you think about this concerning Julius Randle update? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.